Love is a many splendid thing. Da da dee dee dee, la da 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 dee. Love. Well, it is a many splendid thing, but it's also a little bit of a minefield in terms of reminiscing. But it's Valentine's Day, for instance, and you want a theme based on romance and love. Why not? It'd be absolutely ridiculous to shy away from it because it's a bit tricky. Because there's lots of ways into it that avoid those mines in the field of love. So how about, for instance, a bit of make-believe? I've used this and it's been a great source of stories. I found this fabulous old chocolate tin, which is a delight in itself because it's very visual and shiny and red, which is a good colour. And I filled it with just bits and bobs and said, right, so imagine this is a lady and she's kept all these memories of a, well, I guess a romance. We're not sure whether it ended in marriage or, I don't know, but there's various things in here which might give us some clues. For instance, a Valentine's card. I got this off eBay. Beautiful because it's very tactile, silky, lovely embroidery in the middle, which is always good to talk about because a lot of people were very good at embroidery and did it at school and as a hobby, and it's rather pretty. I made this. Remember doing these fortune tellers at school as a kid or with your friends, and you made them and then you counted out the colours or the letters or the numbers and you ended up with a message like, ooh, you'll win lots of money, you're in love. Who knows? Do you know people might even remember how to make these? It might be one of those sort of procedural memory things that sticks. Who knows? We can just experiment. And a piece of material. Maybe this was a dress that she made for her first date or the dance. And actually be careful with velvet. Not everybody likes touching it, but they'll soon let you know. I would. Here's a picture of the man himself. Ah, handsome. And all these came from junk shops, charity shops, eBay, people's lofts, or a ribbon. Scarlet ribbons for her hair. Cigarette packet. I don't approve of smoking, but you know what? The amount of anecdotes that come from old cigarette packets, you'd be surprised. Maybe she remembers having her first cigarette lit by this handsome man. Yeah, don't smoke, obviously. Cinema tickets. These are a treat. I found these on eBay in a great big roll, and so many stories have come from these. Queuing up, the usherettes, the ice creams in the interval, the films, Casablanca, Gone with the Wind. Look up all the old romantic films of the 40s and 50s and 60s, Sound of Music, back row of the cinema. Well, you never know what stories are going to come out. And of course, I did one that the chap had kept as well. He'd kept his memories in another kind of tin, and he's even got a letter. Cinema tickets. So that could be a lot of time spent on stories in and of itself. But what about if you wanted a poem, or there's one about a red, red rose by Robbie Burns. If you're good at Scottish accents, that's great. But there's a lot of love poetry out there. What about finding a page from an old newspaper with and then laminated if you can, so that it's got all the cinemas, the dance halls of your local area. This is Bournemouth Daily Echo, and all the jazz clubs and the films that were on, and that could be a lot of chat. If you can get hold of any of these old magazines with the film stars in, lots of romantic themes. And, well, to be honest, there's no limit. You can go to the clothing sort of tactile. You could dress up. Long gloves might get people dancing with the right music. The last waltz with you, two lonely people together. Engelbert Humperdinck, look it up. Dancing is a memory in the body, and sometimes when someone doesn't even look like they can get out of their chair, they will be able to get up and dance. So I don't know, put a bloke's trilby hat on, play act out those first flirtatious lines across a dance hall and take that first dance. Have fun, that's for certain. And you never know what stories will come out, but at all stages, remember, we don't all have happy love memories. We don't all come from this country. There are men and there are women in the group, and people are of slightly different ages, so all the normal rules apply. But the main rule is just go with the flow and see what gets triggered off. Lots of love.